Hi there, it's Mare. Welcome to my channel. Thank you to all the new subscribers that I've gotten lately. If you are new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button and the notification bell to be updated on any new videos that I post. Let me adjust the lighting just a little bit. I think that's okay. Okay, I have some journals to show you, similar to my Christmas grungy journals. I have labeled them. I have 4, and I have labeled them A, B, C, and D. Here, there we go. And then there's the 4th one. We'll go through them very quickly if I can. My internet is not the greatest here. I live in northern Michigan, out in a rural area, and I don't really get great internet. In any case, okay, so yes, the covers are similar to my grungy ones, but I have to say, I absolutely, since the moment I saw this picture, I think I saw it on Pinterest first, I loved it. I think some people may think that it's a little creepy, but I don't see it like that. I just think it's adorable. Very, like, kind of primitive. And so I searched it out because, of course, I try to find, any kind of copyright information and stuff like that. So I found a seller on Etsy that sells the digital, so that's what I purchased. Anything that I used in this journal as far as ephemera goes, or or digitals, I'll just list the Etsy shop name. I usually get my stuff on Etsy there, and in the description box. So this one is A, and I just put I rusted some metal letter blocks. That one's an A. I have a little teddy bear charm on this, and a couple of vintage buttons. I've used vintage lace and doily, as well as some new stuff. This here is all vintage, except for the cheesecloth, of course. Did some crazy stitching, and that is some vintage music paper that I have backed on cardstock. This is the digital image, and I just made it very raggy and shabby and grungy, and did some patches here and just bits and pieces. Here's some tea-dyed muslin. This is just closure is tea-dyed muslin as well. And it's those crunchy padded envelopes. I've put Tyvek in the spine for extra stability. And, okay, let's get the stats. This is A. It's approximately 7 3/4 by 6. There are 60 pages in each. That's front to back in each of the 4 of the journals. I've made a pocket here. Did some stitching, collaging with bits of doily and lace. Little primitive tag. Make sure you get a clear image. And this pocket here, there's a little stitching here. I don't know if you can see it. Pocket is pretty deep. I'm giving 1 piece of original ephemera. This is from 1904. This is a copy of a receipt on this one for extra journaling space. Little biscuit company. I thought that was really cute. Coffee dyed. And this is very old. I put a piece of tape on it from a little time book, ledger book. I would imagine payroll time. So that fits in there. This is another digital that I printed out on cardstock, and I backed with some coffee dyed paper for writing. Tim Holtz paper here. Made a little grungy ruffle here and put an eyelet on there. I made these tiles, rice paper, and I have these are little wood keys that I embossed to make it look very rustic. This is a little tuck here that I just stamped, all stiffened, a little rusty pin that just tucks in there. And then I am including with each of these journals this altered domino that I made. And it's got a bunch of things embedded in it, like little beads and little pieces of glass glitter, diamond dust, that kind of thing. Made it very grungy looking. Put some rusted charms on there, heart and envelope. In the back, I just used some alcohol inks on there and different leafing. And it's on a clip, just this little heart clip, so it can be taken off and you can use it on your keychain or leave it on the journal or move it anywhere in the journal that you like. Little piece of vintage embroidery. I think it was a napkin. Little piece of that. Little area for journaling. I used this tape throughout here and there. Coffee dyed paper. Vintage book page. This little file folder. And I like the ends curled up, so I curled up the ends here. Just put some coffee dyed paper in there for a little note or quote or whatever. Vintage music paper that I put some gesso on so you could still write on it. Used some of that tape. And then I just have a lot of rusted paper clips that I put on that. And I added this little charm. That is a little, let's get a good picture of it. That is a little puppy dog. Isn't that cute? Okay, that goes on there. Some paper, some vintage ledger. Altered CD sleeve here. Coffee dyed stamping. And then I just put this little, I put a back in there as well. So you could put a picture in there or any kind of paper. I added this little tag in here that flips up. You can write here, all on here. And this pocket I've made out of a little glassine envelope. I added that little sticker there and some tickets and little pieces of ephemera there. Vintage doily here. Coffee dyed paper. This is that handmade paper. It's got really nice texture to it. Couple of tags here. You can write on the back of those. I also put another tile that I made. Little house. That one says time. That's just a little tuck. Edith Holden page. Little mini flip up there. Some of the vintage computer paper. And I made a big journaling card. It's very sturdy. Just collaged on it here. Backed it with some coffee dyed paper. Made a little pocket out of pattern paper. Little gesso here and there. Lots of stitching. I used this die cut and put acetate here. You get an original picture. Very pretty. Very cute. Collaging, there's some really old paper in there as well. Used Tim Holtz paper dolls, and I used some glaze on there. There's some brown glaze on that picture, on that paper doll. Red tag here that I just collaged and added some paper for journaling space. Vintage postcard here. Let's see, 18, looks like 1819. Little tuck here. And that's the center of the signature, so there's a couple of charms here. Gesso there so you could write on it. Lots of space for journaling. A couple of tags here, little primitive ones. Little cluster for a tuck. A little spot there. Journaling gesso here. Here's one of the envelopes similar to the ones in my Christmas ones, but I added some stitching to this one, and I added some paper in the back here so you could put something in there. In fact, I think I'm going to add a little something in there as a surprise in each one. Some more gesso there. Here's a little pad of paper that flips up for writing. And I have these vintage German slides. So I just printed off one of my vintage pictures and made it smaller, and it is glass, so you have to be careful with that. There is one, it's not this one, there is one of these slides. They have one side is acetate, one side is glass because the glass broke on one of them. Anyway, they're very cute. Here's a side pocket for some pattern paper, vintage doily here, vintage photo, an original, and this is a vintage postcard. Cluster here that I've made in the back, and then another big pocket. This is an original receipt for a market, but it was just from 1955, but it was really fragile, so I just glued it onto the back of some coffee dyed paper. And there's a bingo card, areas in back for writing, and the back. Okay, so that is A. So I think these should go a little bit faster. B is 7 1/4 by 6. There's your little B block. Same thing, vintage doily. This pocket, little primitive tag, of course. This pocket has an original receipt as well. Copy of a receipt in one of those time book pages. Little tuck. This has this picture here, and it has the domino, and it can be removed. And the tile here, this has a little piece of embroidery paper. I'm not going to show you that again, but it does have curled paper in there, and the little dog charm. Same thing here, identical to the other. This one says found on it in the tile. Little flip. There are very slight differences in each one. And here is the glazed paper doll. Here's the original photo for this one. There we go. The tags, little tuck up in the cluster area. And the envelope. Flip up, slide. This one's a different picture. It's a wedding one. Picture, postcard. I'd like to include original ephemera when I can. And you get the same thing here. Now this bingo card is just a reproduction. The other one was an original. And it's an original market receipt. So, you know, you could take this slide off, you can take the domino off, and I'm sure it would lie a little, you know, a little flatter, but anyway, that is B. And this is C. And I'm just going to go through this one even quicker. This is the picture you'll get. That was one of the differences. Domino is the same. This is a little bit different. This is a little yellow flower. Still get that charm. This one says just a memory on the tile. This is a little bit longer. Here's the little paper dolls for this one, and the little picture. You get a postcard and a tag, just like all the other ones. And you get the charms in the center. Oh, this tuck here is a little different with some vintage buttons. There's paper on these. And a cluster. The envelope. And the slide, that I think is a common photo that I had, a digital. Familiar one, I should say. Vintage photo, vintage postcard, and the sameness. Oh, we have an original bingo card and the market receipt with the area to journal on the back. Okay, that is C. And this one is D. Oh, C is 7, I don't know if I said it, 7 1/4 by 5 1/2. D is 7 1/4 by 5 1/2. They're all going to be the same price no matter what. And there's your vintage receipt, time book page, copy of a receipt. There's the photo that comes with this, or copy of a photo, I should say. They're all copies of photos in the front. The other ones are original. There's the piece of, I just put a little rusty bell on this little rusty safety pin. Use some of that tape. That does have paper in it. Each one with wrinkled corners and stuff. I'll try to go through this quickly. So they're pretty well the same. This one says house on it. And card. And there's the paper doll that comes with that. And there's the original photo. And there's room there if you want to put your own pictures in there. The tuck spot, original postcard and tag. And then just some tags there. And that's the cluster. Envelope. Oh, that has a little piece of paper on it here for writing. There's the pad with the little slide. That one looks like a group shot. And here's the photograph, original photograph and original postcard. Isn't that cute? Oh. There's the cluster and the reproduction bingo card for that one. And original market one backed. And that is it. Okay, I'm gonna continue to work down my custom order list. I'm not taking any new ones just yet. It'll take me a little bit of time to get to them. So thank you again for watching. I appreciate it and have a great day, guys.